Hey guys, welcome to iTech Savvy. So today we will be talking about the new changes Apple has made in its new software, iOS 14. Apple's first online WWDC was held recently in California, in the Steve Jobs Theater, and Apple showed us some of the major features in iOS 14. But in this video, I will be giving you in-depth review for the iOS 14. I've been using iOS 14 for almost 2 weeks, and the experience is pretty amazing. Also, the video is very long, so I have added timestamps in the description. If you want to skip to a part, then you can refer to the timestamps. Okay, so without wasting much time, let's get started. Okay, so starting from the home screen, as you can see that my home screen is completely redesigned. We have a new widget here. I will be talking about these widgets in a bit. So the first change I noticed was that you can now change your home pages with swiping on the page dots. As you can see here, I'm using page dots to swipe between the pages. So the next change is in the edit mode. When we used to change the home screen layout, we either have to click on the icon and go on edit home screen, or maybe just click on the icon and drag it. But now with iOS 14, the experience is changed. Now you can click anywhere on the screen and go into edit mode. Suppose I am clicking here, as you can see, and I'm going into edit mode. So this feature is really nice. Also, talking about the edit mode, now you can choose to add or remove home pages from your home screen. Like I have removed this page right now, but I can choose to add it. Now as you can see, I have 3 home pages, and I can even go through them with the help of my page dots. And if I want to remove it, I simply have to press and hold the middle of the screen, click on the page dots, and I can simply choose to remove a particular page layouts. But yes, one page layout should be selected. You cannot keep your home screen empty. So suppose if I am keeping this here, now you can see this on my left I have widgets corner, on my right I have app library. App library is also a very good feature in iOS 14. Also, one thing you might notice in the edit mode. Earlier what used to happen when you will go into the edit mode, we used to see cross buttons here. But now in iOS 14 we can see minus here. Instead of cross, we have minus buttons now. Also, you might notice the plus button here. I will be telling you about that plus button. So that was it for home screen for now. Now we also have 6 new wallpapers. So if you go into settings and in the wallpaper section, we have 7 new wallpapers here, and these wallpapers toggle between dark and light mode. Suppose right now I'm in light mode, so this wallpaper will be shown like this, and when I change into dark mode, the wallpaper is changed. Similarly with the other wallpapers, this is the dark mode wallpaper and this is the light mode wallpaper. This is the dark mode, and sorry, that was the light mode, and this is the dark mode. And as you can see here, the dark mode, light mode, light mode, dark mode. So we have 6 new wallpapers for now. Let's see if Apple adds some more in the near future or not. Okay, so now let's talk about app library. Now you can see that this interface looks really nice. This app library is arranged automatically. You cannot change that. But in my perspective, these categories are perfect. For example, I have a gaming category in which I have all my games, then reference and reading category, then health and fitness category, then other category, productivity, entertainment, lifestyle, creativity, utilities, social, recently added, and suggestions. Now what are these recently added and suggestions? So basically suggestions are your app suggestions, which have been automatically set by your app usage. and this recently added category contains all the apps you have downloaded recently. Also, you might notice that 3 of the icons in the categories is large and rest are in the smaller view. Now let me tell you why is that. The apps which are enlarged are the apps which I use the most from that particular category. So suppose if I talk about social, I'm using WhatsApp the most, then Snapchat, and then Instagram. And the good thing about this is I can directly go into the app by just tapping on that. If I talk about some other app like this, you can see for the other apps which are not enlarged, I have to click on the category and then I can access the app from here. Let me close all this. Also, the next good thing about the app library is that you can swipe down and now you have all the list of icons from the app library. All my icons are listed here and I can even use A to Z slider just like my contacts app. Also, we have a search bar on the top, so if I click on it and search for a particular app, say YouTube, then I will get the particular app right here. Good thing about this particular search bar is that if I type the developer's name, suppose if I type Google, all the apps from the particular developer will be listed here. Also, there is this new home screen section in the settings app, and from here I can choose to add new downloads to home screen or to app library. So suppose if I click on the home screen, my new downloads will be listed on my home screen, and if I change it to app library only, then all my downloads will be going to app library. Also, there is one more option. You can choose to show your notification badges in the app library and you can even deny it. So for now you cannot see any kind of notification badges here. But if I go in the settings and turn this on, now have a look. All my notification badges are here. But I don't like this view as it maximizes the clutter. And I like to keep my home screen simple. So now as you can see, all the notification badges are gone and it looks pretty amazing. So that was it for app library. One more thing which is connected to app library is that when I choose to delete a particular app, it will ask me that either I have to remove it from the home screen or delete it completely. By clicking on the delete, the app will be removed from your phone completely, and by removing it from the home screen, it will be removed from your home screen, but you can access it from your app library. So suppose if I search here SmartThings, so you can see it is listed here. And if in any case, if you want that app back onto your home screen, you can just simply go to your app library, click on the category in which the app is listed, and then long press it, and you can see here add to home screen. Now when I click on add to home screen, my app is added on my home screen, and now I can place it anywhere I want. Okay, so now let's move on to the next thing, and let's talk about widgets. So obviously you might have noticed some of the widgets on my home screen, and yes, that is a pretty cool feature. I will be explaining about this in a bit. So first let's go to widget page. Now my widget page is different, as you can see. All the widgets have new interface, and I really like these new widgets. Also, you might have noticed that I have multiple widgets in a particular section. This is called Smart Stack. Also, one more thing which has changed in iOS 14 is now we don't have any time on our lock screen, and same is the case on our home screen also. So the time from the widgets corner has been removed. Okay, now talking about the widgets on my home screen. So if I choose to edit my home screen and if I click on this plus icon, as I told you, I have all my widgets listed here. And by clicking on a particular widget, I can choose to add it on my home screen. Also, there are different sizes available for particular widgets. Suppose like weather here, we have 3 different sizes for weather, for reminders, for photos, for stocks. Also for stocks we have 4 new widgets, not 3. For notes also we have 4 new widgets. For calendar we have 3 widgets. For calendar we have 3 widget sizes. And here are some of other widgets. For news also we have 3 different sizes. And suppose if I want to add a particular widget on my home screen, I simply have to long press on it, drop it here on my home screen. And when I move my widget, apps arrange accordingly. So suppose if I'm moving my widgets here and there, you might see that apps are arranging. Now I told you about Smart Stack. So what is Smart Stack? Basically, Smart Stack is something in which I can add multiple widgets in a particular section. So suppose here now I have my 2 widgets, my weather widget and my stocks widget. And not just 2, I can add more widgets on that particular widget. Now I have 3 widgets here. And not just 3, I can add more. I can add my reminders here, or maybe my batteries here. So you can add multiple widgets in a particular widget. And this is what we call Smart Stack. Now why this is called Smart Stack? Because all the widgets keep on changing in the different times of the day. So let's say suppose in morning I have my reminders here. Also we have an option to edit widgets. Now if you want to edit any particular widget, you just simply need to press and hold that particular widget and just click on edit stack. Now here is my Smart Stack. This is how my Smart Stack is arranged. I can also choose to rearrange this. So now you can see that on my top I have reminders, then battery, then weather, then stocks, and then notes. Also you might have noticed Smart Rotate here. Now what is the Smart Rotate? Now as I told you, these widgets keep on changing in the particular time of the day. So I can choose to turn off the Smart Rotate. And now they will not change automatically. So I'll have to go manually and change them. And suppose if I turn on this Smart Rotate, now my widgets will keep on changing. Now you have seen that you can add multiple widgets on your home screen. But till now you have seen that in a Smart Stack form. But let me tell you, you can add 2 widgets on your home screen, and you can even make them Smart Stacks. So you have n number of possibilities here. So basically you can add multiple Smart Stacks on your home screen. Okay, so now let's talk about search. So now search has a different interface. This new interface looks much more cleaner and richer, and the colors are much more rich. Also the changes in this interface is that all the text has been enlarged, and also now you can see a arrow here instead of show more and show less like it used to be in iOS 13. Next thing in search is that now search is autofill. So suppose if I am writing YouTube, you can see that it has already written YouTube completely, and I can see YouTube and YT Studio here. So basically YT Studio is an app for creators, so not all of you might be using this. let's keep that aside. We are not talking about YouTube Studio right now. So as you can see, when I have written YouTube here, the two icons are shown here and YouTube icon is highlighted a little bit. Now why it is highlighted? Because you can simply click on go and it will directly take you to that particular app. Let's suppose if I type Facebook, so you can say Facebook and FaceTime, and I have just written FAC. So both the apps start from FAC. So I can choose to go to Facebook directly by clicking here and saving my time not to click here. So you might be knowing about the Spotlight search in the Mac. So similar to the Spotlight search, now you can simply paste a URL in your search bar and directly access that particular website from your Spotlight search. So next we will be talking about privacy. Apple phones are already so much secure, but now Apple decided to add some more privacy features into the iPhone. And now I believe that iPhones are really very secure. So talking about the privacy features, so the very first feature I would like to tell you is that now you can choose to give a particular app your precise location or an approximate location. So suppose if I go in settings app, and click on privacy and then go to location services, here you can see that it is written that share location. Now you can see that I have an option to give a particular app my precise location or my approximate location. So if I turn this on, Facebook will have access to my precise location, but when I will turn this off, then it will just have my approximate location. The next thing we have is our microphone indicator. So suppose if I start voice memos and I start recording something, so you might have noticed a small dot up here. Let me give you a closer look. You can notice a orange icon here. And when I go to my control center, it would say voice memos has used my microphone recently. And same is the case with the camera app or any other app which is using your camera. It will show a green dot. Here's a green dot. And when I will scroll down, it will tell me that my camera is recently being used by my camera app. And when I close the camera app, then it would show camera recently. That means that my camera app has recently used my camera. Same is the case. So suppose if I go into Snapchat, now as you can see, my Snapchat is using my camera. And if I start recording something, then both my camera and microphone were accessed. So you can see Snapchat written here, Snapchat recently. That Snapchat has recently used my camera. Also now if I copy and paste a particular text, then it will give me a particular notification. Say WhatsApp business pasted from notes. So this means your iPhone is always secure, and whenever you are copying and pasting something, you will get a notification. The next changes I will be talking about are settings change, are in the settings app. So suppose if I go into settings and I access multiple levels, for example like this, I have an option to go back to the main menu directly from here. We just have to long press up here, and then we can choose to go to the settings, to the main menu app, or to the wallpaper section. So as you can see here, now we have a back button for multiple levels. The next change in the settings app, I can customize my automatic updates. So earlier in iOS 13 I could just turn on and turn off automatic updates, but now I have a separate option to download the iOS updates and also to install the updates automatically. But now I have two separate options to download and install apps automatically. So suppose if I turn off install updates, so now my phone will download the iOS update but will not install it automatically. I will have to manually install it. But if I turn this on, then my phone will install the update automatically. We have a new glyph for our Bluetooth devices, and when I connect them, a notification will be displayed saying my AirPods are connected. This scenario is same for multiple devices. Whenever I connect a particular Bluetooth device, it would give me a notification that my device is connected. Next up, I will be talking the changes in keyboard. So suppose if I go in notes and access keyboard, I now have emoji search. So I can search emojis and I also have a bar of emojis which I use the most. So instead of scrolling all the way to the right and finding an emoji, I can simply type here and access a particular emoji. So I can simply type here and access a particular emoji. So let's just suppose if I type fire, so you can see that fire emoji is here and I can use it directly from here. Talking about the control center, the UI for control center modules have been redesigned. We now have a dynamic home controls, which I can turn on and off from the settings. And now as you can see, a home toggle has appeared in my control center. Now I don't have any devices set up in my HomeKit, so it is asking me to open the home app and set up a new devices. We now have a new toggle called sound recognition, in which we can use to recognize sounds. So suppose I can choose here to enable door knock, doorbell, or maybe baby crying. And whenever my iPhone will recognize these sounds, it will notify me. So suppose if I knock on this, but this is a bit buggy for now. Maybe it will get better in future updates. Also, if I have my AirPods connected And if I am listening, also if my AirPods are connected and if I am listening to something, I can access the control center and it will tell me the decibel meter and it will show me the decibel meter. So for now it is saying that my headphone level is okay, and I can also see the exact decibel for the sound. So now my music is too loud, maybe I should decrease the volume. So when I decrease the volume, now it is showing me that my sound level is okay. And when I'll increase my volume to full, it is telling me that my sound is loud. So this is a very good update for hearing impaired people. And so this is a very good update for people who have hearing aid. And also it will help to prevent our ears. One more change which I have noticed is I have noticed one more change in the control center. When my phone is in landscape mode, the brightness and volume toggle is now a bit larger. And definitely my experience is now better. Then there are some changes in the accessibility corner. Now I can tune my AirPods manually according to my need instead of tuning them digitally. Also we now have an option of touch, and this is a very cool feature in this update. So now we have back tap features. So if I go to back tap, and I have opted for reachability when I double tap, and I have opted for mute when I will triple tap. So suppose when I will double tap on my back, my reachability will be accessed, and when I will triple tap, my phone will be on, and when I will triple tap, my phone will go on mute. So I found this feature really cool, and you have a bunch of different options which you can manually choose from for both double tap and triple tap. Now privacy features for Safari has also been increased. And I can see, and we now have a new option for privacy report here. When I will click on it, that how much sites Safari has blocked, that how many trackers Safari has prevented across various websites. So as I can see NDTV here, so these many trackers have been blocked by Safari, and this is done automatically, so I felt this very nice. The next update is we now have a different section for passwords. Earlier passwords was in accounts, but now we have them separate. Also talking about the privacy, my iPhone displays that my passwords are not secure. Also talking about privacy, now in the password section I can see that it is recommending me to change my passwords as these passwords are not secure. So it is showing me a message that you are reusing this password you are reusing this password on other websites which increases the risk to this account if one of those other accounts is compromised. So now you might have gotten an idea that how the privacy features have been improved in iOS 14. Also, there are some changes in the App Store. If I go select a particular app, then we have a new slide bar here in which different kind of information is shown to us. For example, the download size, the developer, the language of the app, the age restrictions and ratings. And when I click on the developer, it will show all App Store will show all the apps from the App Store will show all the particular apps from the App Store will show all the apps from that particular developer. So this is a really cool feature. Also, earlier App Store would not recognize some typos, but now suppose if I type Snapchat instead of Snapchat, it will still show me Snapchat app here. So now typos are being recognized in the App Store also. So now you don't have to worry about typing something wrong in the search bar. Also, the camera has got many updates. The click rate is now faster. Also, a new interface has been introduced to camera app. Then we can also shoot a quick video by holding on to the click button and then sliding into the right. Now we can also record a short video by just tapping and holding on to the button. And if we want to start recording a particular video, then we can simply slide it to the right and lock the recording. So now my phone is recording continuously. The next update is that we now have a different setting. That we now have an option in the settings to use volume up for burst and volume down for quick record. So suppose if I click on the volume up button. Suppose if I click on volume up button, it will start capturing the photos in the burst. And if I press the down button, it will start recording a short video. So the camera app now becomes much more accessible. The next thing is that in the camera settings, now we have an option to mirror our front camera. So as you can see here, it is written here, mirror front camera, and I can either turn it on and turn it off. Also, the click rate I showed you, you can toggle it. As we now have an option, prioritize faster shooting. So if you will turn this off, the click rate will become normal. But if you turn this on, the click rate will increase. Also, we now have some more settings. We now have an option to directly change the frame rate while recording a video. You just have to click on the frame rate, and now it is 24. You just have to click on the frame rate like this. So now it is 60. Now when I click again on it, it will become 24, then 30, and then again 60. Also, I can toggle between 4K and HD recording. So when I click on 4K, now it is recording in HD, and if I click on it again, now it is recording it 4K. Okay, so now let's talk about picture-in-picture mode. So this feature was available in iPad earlier, but now it is available on our iOS. But now it is available on iPhones also. So what this picture-in-picture helps you to do? So what this picture-in-picture helps you to do, you can simply swipe to your home screen while watching something and still have that particular window on your home screen. And you can choose the four corners to see that particular. So to see that particular window, you can also enlarge it or also decrease its size. You can also hide it in the corner while just listening to the audio, and you can even access this between other apps. And if you want to remove this, then you simply need to click on the X button here. This new picture-in-picture mode works with Amazon Prime, Netflix, Safari, Apple TV, Jio Cinema, ALT Balaji, and many more. Okay, so now let's talk about the Siri. Now Siri has completely been changed. Instead of covering the full screen, Siri comes in a small circle on the bottom. Siri has a new interface, and it comes just in the bottom of your screen. Has really been improved, and it can do many things. Now suppose if I ask Siri to show me weather, then instead of taking me to the weather app, look at what Siri will do. Hey Siri, what is the weather? As you can see, Siri has displayed the weather on the top in much smaller UI. So I can access this from multiple apps. So suppose if I am using Facebook and I ask, hey Siri, set a reminder for today that I have to buy stuff. So Siri has added to my reminders, and also has shown me the reminder. Now you can do a lot of things with this new Siri. And when I ask some Siri to do something, this new circular form is very nice. For example, hey Siri, search for iTech Savvy on the web. Look at this. Also talking about the Siri settings has also been updated. Siri settings has also been updated. Now you can choose when Siri should give you a voice feedback. So for now I have selected with silent mode off or with Hey Siri. So in this mode what will happen? Whenever my phone is in silent mode. Now
Siri your incoming calls will be displayed in a call bar on the top of your screen. And this is
a really great feature if you are.
And this removes the hassle to.
This is a really great feature when you.
And it prevents the call.
Make much noise.
And it prevents incoming calls to cover up your whole screen.
When you have enabled the silent mode. Also now you can see always. Now you can see here always show Siri captions. So I can turn this on. And also show speech. So now when I will enable both of these. What Siri will do, Siri will show captions on the screen for all Siri dialogues. Siri will show a transcription of our speech on screen for all requests. So this new silent Siri function is really nice. I like it a lot. Also a new feature in the health app has been added, which is called the sleep mode. In which I can toggle my sleep schedule and also the alarms. So as you can see, I can customize the sleep timings and even increase. And in fact, I can even increase it from here. The next thing in the sleep mode is that we have wind down shortcuts. So what this will do, you can choose to begin the wind down. You can choose to begin your wind down prior to your sleep. So suppose if I select here 45 minutes. And enable wind down, it is asking me to add a shortcut. So suppose if I add notes here and open notes, and when I click on done, so when I am in sleep mode, it displays this new interface. Sleep well is written here and it is telling me that my alarm is set for 9 am and I can access my shortcuts from here. So when I'll click on shortcut, it will show me the shortcuts I have added. And I can directly access it from here. Then the changes are in the clock app. When you will go in the clock app, you will notice that bedtime is removed from here, and now we only have 4 options. And when I will go in alarm, I can see the sleep schedule on the top. So I can click on change, and I can choose to turn off my alarm for a particular day. So suppose it's weekend and you don't want to wake up early, so you can turn it off from there. So you can turn it off from there, and then a message will be shown that skipped for tomorrow only, and you can also enable it again. Also in the clock app, if I added an alarm, you might have noticed here that the slider is gone, and now I have to type in a particular time So suppose if I have to set up an alarm for 9 am, so I have to type here 9. So I have to type here 9:00 and then choose between AM and PM. So the slider is gone and now we don't have the haptic feedback here anymore. Changes are also being made to the Photos app. Now when you click on your recent photos, you can toggle it by pinching in and pinching out. So that particular feature is available for all the albums. I can zoom into a particular photo and also to multiple photos. So this is the completely zoomed out view, and this is a view for single photos.
Now your incoming calls will be displayed in a call bar on the top of your screen, and it prevents incoming calls to cover up your whole screen.
iTech-savvy.
This is also available for third-party applications like WhatsApp, Zoom, Skype, etc.
iTech-savvy. WhatsApp audio.
and we can also customize that in our settings. For example, if I go on, just need to go on the phone, tab and tap on incoming calls. Now you can see here the options. Now you can see the options here. You can choose to display a banner, or also you can choose to display full screen, like they used to come in iOS 13. Now the video is already pretty long, but I will still tell you some of the more changes. Changes have been made to markup functions, family sharing, mail app, measure app, magnifier, music app, news, podcast, reminders, game center, the books app, voice memos, the find my app, weather app, and files. But covering them all will take very long, and I guess this video will turn into a 2 hour or 3 hour video, and obviously no one wants to watch it this long. So I'll stop here. Maybe I will cover them some other day. But if you want a video on that, you can comment down below, and I will make a video on that also. So that's it for today, guys. I hope that I have told you many features about iOS 14 and that you would like them all. Please subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon. Also, please like, comment and share the video, and make sure you are following all our social media handles. Thank you guys, stay tuned, stay safe.